Hello, this is Liz Neiman, Senior Director of Communications and Public Relations at the American National Standards Institute. On behalf of everyone at ANSI, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. So you're probably thinking, who cares about standards, or standards are boring, or only engineers think about that stuff. Well, I'm here today to tell you why you should care about standards, why you need to understand how standards and conformance can be leveraged to access new markets, and why, ultimately, standards boost business. But it all starts here, with ANSI membership. Let's start with a quick thought experiment. What do you think would happen if you took 80% of your business and ignored it? How long would it take for your competitors to pass you by? Well, it wouldn't take very long, and that's because 80% is a huge number with huge implications. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, more than 80% of global commodity trade is impacted by standards and conformance. That 80% comes to $14 trillion, according to the most recent data available. So, if you aren't already engaged in the standards work that impacts your business, you're missing a huge opportunity. And you could also be hurting your prospects for growth and advancement. Now that I have your attention, let me take a step back and lay the groundwork. Behind the scenes, standards make everyday life work. They can establish characteristics, they can define terms, and they can specify performance of products or personnel. The other side of the coin is conformance or conformity assessment. Think about words like inspection, testing, certification, and accreditation. There's a whole global system of standards and conformance out there, and ANSI is the coordinator of our U.S. standardization system. That's a role we've had for nearly 100 years. Very briefly, ANSI is a nonprofit organization that coordinates the U.S. private sector standards and conformity assessment system and serves as a bridge to the public sector. To be clear, ANSI is not a standards developer, nor are we part of the government. Rather, we are a mission-based, nonprofit organization working to ensure the integrity of the U.S. standardization system. We do this in the service of our members, the standardization community, and the nation. Our key roles include accrediting standards developing organizations, or SDOs for short, that comply with our essential requirements, which include openness, balance, and consensus. We also approve those organizations' individual documents as American National Standards, or as you may often hear, ANSI standards. We provide a neutral forum where all stakeholders can come together to coordinate, discuss, and work toward consensus on standardization issues. We represent the U.S. in all the major regional and international standardization forums, including the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, and the International Electrotechnical Commission, or IEC. And we accredit U.S. technical advisory groups to develop U.S. positions for those forums. We accredit conformity assessment organizations of all types, like certification bodies for products, systems, and personnel. We serve as an open venue for standardization policy and for connecting with government representatives, business leaders, and international and regional standards bodies. And above all, we are a membership organization. Domestically, regionally, and internationally, we represent thousands of our members from industry, trade associations, SDOs, government, consumer groups, academia, and accreditation bodies. While very diverse, all of ANSI's roles have one thing in common: a reliance on broad collaboration that provides powerful engagement opportunities for our members and stakeholders. So with that background, let's get right to the heart of the matter. What does it mean for you? Why should you care about ANSI membership, or about standardization activities at all, for that matter? There are a whole slew of answers to those questions, but I'm going to give you what we think are the top 4. What's most important to your organization may be different from others, but these major benefits provide value that crosses all sectors and organization types. You can always get more details and have any questions answered by contacting ANSI's membership team at membership@ansi.org or visiting ansi.org/membership. So let's dive in with number 1, getting a heads up. ANSI members have access to the tremendous pool of knowledge of ANSI's expert staff, many of whom are actively engaged in international meetings around the world, in a wide variety of domestic standards activities, in government outreach, in trade facilitation activities, and much more. They can provide you with early warning about emerging issues that might threaten your business, or might present opportunities to grow it. And ANSI's strong relationships with our international and regional counterparts can help you address trade challenges and get a foothold in expanding markets. Our China program, for example, serves as a bridge in facilitating smoother communication, collaboration, and the creation of win-win solutions between business and government stakeholders in the US and China. ANSI's rich experience helps our members open doors and expand their footprint in the Chinese market. And our resources go well beyond China. ANSI's standards portal includes market access information not only for the US and China, but also for India, Korea, and Brazil. And we are currently involved in numerous partnership activities with US government agencies that are designed to foster standardization and trade development in countries and regions around the world. We also have a long history of successful dialogue with the European standards organizations, CEN, CENELEC, and ANSI, and more recently with the European Commission. These groups have a major impact on market access and trade requirements across Europe. And our track record of collaborative work with the major national standards bodies, including DIN in Germany and AFNOR in France, have established ANSI as a trusted partner in facilitating transatlantic standardization solutions. In fact, ANSI's strong bilateral relationships extend to nearly every area of the world, including our other key trading partners, Canada and Mexico, and through engagement with many more countries in Latin America, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. There are opportunities in all of these regions for companies and organizations that are well informed about standards and policy changes to gain traction, and ANSI membership can help you get that heads up. Which brings us to our next reason for ANSI membership. You don't want to get left in the dust. Standards work that directly impacts the products, services, and systems shaping your industry moves forward whether you are present or not. Nearly every day, a standards group or technical committee is meeting somewhere, making decisions that affect the advancement of technologies, marketability and access, and your ability to compete. Here in the US alone, there are over 100,000 standards that have been developed by hundreds of SDOs and consortia via committees of experts in nearly every conceivable subject matter. Of those, 11,000 have been approved by ANSI as American national standards. In a nutshell, that means they were developed in an open, balanced, and consensus-based way, and that all interested stakeholders have had the opportunity to get involved in the process. As an ANSI member, you can take advantage of whatever level of involvement in that process works best for you. You can review the existing and proposed American national standards that are relevant to your interests and see which organizations are doing the work. We'll help you familiarize yourself with the ANSI essential requirements for standards development, and we'll provide guidance on the various means of participating. In other words, will you be a voting member or an observer? Will you submit public comments? Will you submit detailed proposals for revision? There are many different ways to get involved. There's also the option of your organization becoming an ANSI accredited standards developer and developing your own American national standards in your particular area of expertise. Of course, that can provide tremendous opportunities to influence future innovation and shape markets. In the international arena, there are thousands of standards development activities underway as well, and ANSI is the access point for U.S. engagement. You can get involved in ISO and IEC activities via ANSI and our U.S. National Committee. In ISO, we have U.S. technical experts working in nearly 600 ISO committees, and in IEC, U.S. technical experts populate more than 150 committees focused on a broad array of electrotechnologies. That is a great level of participation, and it's a key priority for ANSI to ensure that the U.S. maintains a strong voice in international standardization forums. And because the marketplace is constantly growing, evolving, and shifting, there's a constant need for new and updated standards and increased U.S. participation in leadership, particularly in growth areas. When ANSI holds a leadership role in an ISO activity, we have a clear advantage when it comes to communicating the preferences of our U.S. stakeholder community. And that means you. When your preferences make it into an international standard, you can see a clear positive result on your bottom line. You don't have to change your manufacturing practices to suit someone else's whims. You sell more products and services. You enter new markets. And you do all of this because you were at the table. You were there when the standard was written. Whether it's domestic or international standardization work, your viewpoints and opinions are needed to make sure that a standard takes all stakeholder views into account. If you're not there to influence the direction of your industry, your competitors may be, and you can get left in the dust. The next major reason you should care about ANSI membership is a bit simpler, but equally powerful: meeting the right people. ANSI membership will help you build relationships within this diverse community of standardization stakeholders and gain intelligence you won't find anywhere else. Whether through our topical events, member forums, conferences, interactive workshops, collaboratives, caucuses, and much more, or through direct participation in standards development work itself. There are great opportunities for visibility, networking, and information exchange. You'll have unique access to government and industry leaders who are on the cutting edge of technical and policy developments in all industries. From CEOs to legal experts, to federal, state, and international policy leaders, ANSI consistently brings together high-level participants for interactive discussions and relationship building. As far as networking goes, there's nothing like it. We have a tremendous track record of effective partnerships and dialogue with high-level officials and trusted experts from all the diverse stakeholder groups involved in standardization, both in the U.S. and globally. And as an ANSI member, the more you participate and engage with these activities, the greater your access to these valuable connections. Finally, our last reason can be viewed as the culmination of all the opportunities ANSI membership provides: surging ahead. When you're an active, informed participant, standards and conformity assessment activities truly have the power to help you advance your positions and gain a competitive edge. Or as we like to put it, standards boost business. Strategic standardization ultimately helps you to reduce costs, increase efficiencies, and facilitate market access. And active standards participation with ANSI puts you in the pilot's seat, in a power position in your industry. You can influence the direction of a particular sector's standardization activities by joining an ANSI collaborative, panel, or network. You can influence standardization policy by becoming a member of one of our policy committees or governance boards, or just keep yourself informed by reviewing committee documents. You can save money and increase efficiency with member discounts on convenient site license subscriptions and standards from hundreds of developers on our standards store. You can display the ANSI member logo to demonstrate your commitment to the U.S. standardization system, the strongest in the world. When you know how to use them, standards and conformance are powerful tools that can help you get ahead, and ANSI membership provides you with the access and expertise to make the most of them. I think those 4 major reasons give you an introduction to the great advantages of becoming an ANSI member. But if you only remember one thing from this presentation, it should be this: standards development work is moving forward, whether you are present or not. I think Russ Cheney, the CEO of IAPMO and a member of ANSI's board of directors, said it perfectly.
If a company is unsure about the advantages or the disadvantages to participating in the standards development process, I would certainly remind them of the fact that their competitors are likely doing so. So in the absence of their participation, their competitors will then decide their destiny.
I hope you've heard enough to pique your interest. I encourage you to take a closer look at our full array of member resources and benefits at ansi.org/membership. And of course, please contact any of our membership staff at membership@ansi.org or any of the numbers listed here. Or you can contact me directly for more information at enieman@ansi.org. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope to speak with you soon.